welcome back to the show. Every now and again, it's good to give your grey cells some exercise. This week, my colleague Kali takes us on a literary journey that's about a mythological story set in the world of cinema. Now let's find out what this means.
Myth is a bridge between fear and reality, and even before anything existed, truth did. The fact that there was nothing is true. Vamsi Juluri's new novel, The Mythologist, is replete with such deep insights.
The travails and adventures of a young protagonist called P. Parashuram.
Vamsi is a professor of media studies at the San Francisco University. He uses Greek monster Medusa as a metaphor for television. The belief is that one look at her turns a person into a stone. He says that the Western world largely views Indian cinema as something where people spend a lot of time running around trees with a song playing in the background. Here, he tells us his inspiration for writing this book.
At first, I wanted to write a book about what the media were doing in America after 9/11, which was creating a lot of falsehood and fear. And I was looking for a good mythological figure, and I happened to be in Florence, and I saw the statue of Perseus slaying Medusa. And I said I have to write a story about how the media were like Medusa. And it started with that idea, the idea that, television can be like a gorgon, it opens its eyes, people are petrified, turn to stone, which is how people look when they watch TV. But then as I started writing it, I realized that I could not possibly write a book on mythology without getting into where much of mythology was not only born but actually lives and breathes and grows to this day, which is in India.
India has always been a minefield for artwork stemming from myths, be it cave paintings, books, or mythological movies. Would it be correct to assume that superstitions and ultimately the faith in God is loosely based on fear and insecurity?
Yeah, fantastic question. Okay, I think one aspect of our relationship to myth is superstition, not all of it. And I think there are times and places when the superstitious dominates, and the superstitious, I would include the political, the fascistic, the fundamentalistic as also part of the superstitious. So there are times when that dominates, but I think that's not the only dimension. And the reason I say this again is that my understanding of mythology, both as an Indian guy, who grew up watching these movies, who also goes to temples and that sort of a thing, but who has also read a little bit of social sciences and Gandhi. My understanding of this essentially is that these stories, these tales of the gods, sometimes, when fear dominates, end up, turning into superstitions or a way for, people to get exploited or exploit each other. But I think if you look at the vast expanse of mythic art in India, whether it's painting or literature or movies or just the stories we tell each other or Amar Chitrakatha and all these things, I think they're more about love than they're about fear.
The reading session was very lively in the otherwise quiet Oxford bookstore. Some of the avid readers drew parallels to the movies made in the 1970s. Some wondered how the US market and Vamsi students would react to a book about Indian mythologies. Srikumar Verma, a well-known author who was in conversation with the writer, thinks that it's just a fascinating book.
I've always been fascinated by cinema, and Vamsi's book sort of recreates that magic for me. It's a front seat view of the entire magic of cinema, this entire panorama of cinema for me, and the people who operate it and the people who are fascinated by cinema.
And Srikumar Verma have a lot more in common than just their passions for words. Parashuram, that happens to be the name of the protagonist in Vamsi's book, also happens to be the title of Srikumar's forthcoming book. Coincidence or what? On to our next feature. Now we head over to celebrations of the Samudra magazine for music, dance, drama, art and cinema. RKM School last week was buzzing as stalwarts from the music industry like lyricist Wali and singer Vani Jairam were present.
Samudra, a magazine dedicated to music, dance, drama and art cinema, turned 8 this month and has come a long way from its humble beginnings.
I felt that the theoretical knowledge that I've acquired over the years through my research should be put to proper concrete use. And that's how this music magazine was born, and then it went into becoming an art magazine catering to all strata. And in this context, I must mention the pillar of support that my husband has been. He himself is a musician, plays the percussion, mridangam. And so in this combination of a husband and wife, we thought that we should serve the community at large, and that's how we started this magazine for fine arts called Samudra. And Samudra again indicates that fine arts is an ocean, and we are trying to just delve into that ocean and pick out a few nice pearls out of it.
நம்பிராஜன் வேடர்களுடன் வனத்திற்கு மிருகங்களை வேட்டையாடச் சென்றார்.
A performance of a Harikatha by 7-year-old Varsha Bhuvaneshwari marked the inauguration. This young girl's talent captured the attention of all in the audience. Chief guest Vani Jairam herself was amazed by Varsha's confidence.
I was amazed to see such a prodigy doing her job so eloquently, so gifted is the child. I was floored completely, and I wish this child a wonderful, great future. I have no doubts about it. She's extraordinarily talented.
The evening was made special by the presence of veteran lyricist Wali, who was conferred the Jnana Samudra Award.
But I don't know how far I deserve it, whether I deserve it or not, but I will make a reasonable person for that award in future. Now I can say that I am a pond of Jnana, not Jnana Samudra.
8 years and going strong. Samudra also has other reasons to celebrate with the release of their music planner come Directory 2011 and the completion of its 100th issue this February. Members of Samudra say they would continue to relentlessly serve the cause of fine arts.
Leave it to Samudra to search and showcase new talent. Now we saw Varsha doing her thing in the story. Well, for more talent and show-stopping stories, you've got to watch the show next week. Now it's time for me to bid you all farewell, but remember, send in your comments to feedback@ndtv-hindu.com. Until next week, I'm Dipti saying bye.